many steps does it take to make the right hire? And what is the best method to evaluate candidates? This is what we will explore in this module. But before we get into how many is too many, let's take a look at what should be a part of your selection plan. Typically, it's comprised of 3 steps: the pre-selection, the interview, and the assessment. The first step is to qualify the applicants, and this is to ensure that they meet the basic requirements for the role. This could include, in some cases, a license, a permit, the ability to travel, language proficiency, and even experience with a specific software. Essentially, these are your go, no-go requirements. No matter who's responsible for the pre-selection, you, the recruiter, or HR, they will be able to distinguish the good candidates from the irrelevant ones, because you don't want to waste time putting unqualified candidates through an extensive interview. Now, how do you pre-screen candidates? It usually involves reviewing resumes, which we'll cover in the next module, but often it also includes a phone conversation which lasts about 20 minutes. And once you've narrowed down your applicant list to potential candidates, then you begin the interview step. If you're like most hiring managers, you are happiest getting a sense of a candidate through unstructured interviews, which allows you to ask questions that come to you on the spot. And you probably even have your go-to questions. And while unstructured interviews consistently receive the highest ratings of perceived effectiveness, dozens of studies have found them to be among the worst predictors of actual on-the-job performance. So thinking through your interview approach will be well worth your time and ensures you're getting as much as possible out of your candidates so that you can make an informed hiring decision. There are actually a few different interview styles and types of interview questions to choose from. The 3 styles are the one-on-one interview, the panel interview, and the group interview. And there are also 4 different types of interview questions: behavioral, situational, competency, and case study. We have found that having a mix of types of interview questions provides the best results, and you get to reap the benefits of each one. Remember, each interview style and type of question has its own pros and cons, considerations, and preparation. So make sure to review the selection process fact sheet for more information to help you curate the right process for your role. And the final and 3rd step is for assessments. A well-developed assessment or test can shed light on a candidate. Technical tests are typically used earlier in the process, whereas assessments, which can be costly, are typically used at a later stage when you have identified your final candidates. They can be time-consuming, and some candidates might even find them invasive, which could hurt your candidate experience. Therefore, if you want to test candidates without annoying them, be sure to respect their time and make sure this step adds value to your overall process. Another key rule when conducting assessments is important to ensure consistency and standardization in order to generate reliable results. Once again, you should consult with your HR to determine what your company already has in place, or perhaps discuss what should be implemented for your position. So back to the million-dollar question. How many interviews is too many? The number of required interviews should first and foremost be appropriate for the level of the position. While there's no hard and fast rule, aiming for between 1 and 3 interviews, depending on the level of the position, is a wise move. An entry-level job may only require 1 to properly assess the candidate, while mid-level or highly technical roles may need 2, and more senior or leadership positions could require more. What's important is to be mindful of the overall time your candidate is spending in your process. If they're employed, they're taking time off to meet with you. It's striking the right balance between getting as much insight to make an enlightened hiring decision while managing your time and the candidate's time effectively. Yes, it's costly to make the wrong hire, but it's also costly to recruit. And finally, keep in mind that most candidates want to meet with their potential boss early on the process. So don't wait too long to introduce this step.